Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel and another Sims 4 speed build. Today I have a modern style family home for you guys, which I started out building here in Strangerville, but later in the video I ended up moving it to Oasis Springs. Basically because even though this lot size was perfect for what I needed, the layout of the surrounding landscaping, where the driveway was kind of coming in from the side and there were all these sort of like tall trees that were blocking the middle of the lot, as I started looking back at the house from the road, I couldn't see the front. So I think this particular lot is just better suited for maybe like a side entry home. This lot is actually the home of Ted Roswell, the mayor of Strangerville, which I've demolished his house and started building this one. At the time, I thought maybe I would just leave it here and let the Roswells live here, but it just didn't work out. So this is a 40 by 30. This area is the Shady Acres part of Strangerville, which has a lot of the sort of Victorian style houses, which I'm not really a huge fan of Victorian style houses. So I've pretty much demolished everything and built most of this neighborhood up to be very modern. If you have downloaded anything out of the gallery of mine, you probably noticed some of the other houses that I'd been putting in this particular area, and they're all very modern. Almost similar to Oasis Springs, but maybe a little bit different. But they kind of have the same vibe, since they're both, you know, deserty with lots of red and cactuses and stuff. So I kind of feel like they're a little bit the same. Anyway, this house was a photo that was submitted by one of my followers on Instagram. It is a real house, and he sent me a message and asked if I could build it. So I thought, sure, it looks like a beautiful house, so I'll give it my best shot. I only had a picture of the front, so I really don't have any idea what the sides or the back of the home actually look like. So I had to kind of improvise a little bit on that. But if you'd like to see a photo of the real house, I have it over on my Instagram. That's also ErikaBuilds, so you can go and take a look at it and see what you think. There's always going to be a side-by-side comparison shot between the real house and then the Sims version. That's kind of my normal way of doing things when I'm trying to perfectly match a house that's existing, which is very difficult for me because most of the time the type of windows, or sometimes even the type of roof line, is just not possible in the game as it is, since I don't play with any mods. So I mean custom content. So I have to be a little bit imaginative when it comes to finding windows that will work. And you'll see here I swapped these out several times, trying to find it was kind of interesting because this house had a mixture of like these large square windows, and then it also had arched windows, which normally I don't do a lot of mixing on that when it comes to modern houses. Usually I don't mix, you know, the very sort of contemporary windows with the more ornate windows. But actually, I think it turned out okay. I don't know. You can let me know what you think. So we've moved to Oasis Springs now, as you've probably noticed. This lot is the Yuma Heights lot, which is a vacant house that I've demolished. It's in the Acquisition Butte section, which actually I had to look up because I didn't know that. I never noticed the name of this area before. So that's where it is. And it's also a 40 by 30, of course. So this lot actually ended up being perfect for this house because of the way that sort of side landscaping is already there, and it was really exactly what I needed. So it was a good choice to move it. You'll see now that I'm starting to work on the back of the house a little bit. This is sort of a work in progress because when I don't have a picture of the back, especially when it comes to modern houses, I always struggle for a while to kind of figure out what it's going to look like. And so it evolves, you know, sort of as I'm building it. But I'm starting to work a little bit here on the floor planning. And in modern houses, you always end up with sort of an odd floor plan because of, you know, the odd sort of shape of the exterior. So sometimes I end up with like rooms that just don't really seem very functional. Like they'll have really skinny areas or like L shapes that are just really bizarre. So I was kind of, you'll see as I'm kind of like tweaking the outside as I'm doing the inside. So I'm kind of like doing both at the same time until I can have it make sense. Because at some point, you know, you have to sort of compromise between what makes sense on the outside and what makes sense on the inside. And I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but I always want to make sure that the house is logical for gameplay. So, you know, I don't want rooms that are, you know, too small that where you can't really play with your, you know, families in, that, you know, it's too difficult to see or whatever. So it's kind of, it's a process. But I did have a few, you know, kind of guidelines that I could use looking at the front of the house that I could, you know, take from those and add to the back. So those, the mixture of like the square windows with the curved arched windows, since that was, you know, sort of the theme of the front, I wanted to mix those together on the back as well. So I did sort of like the upstairs were arched and then the downstairs were more square. The house has 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It's pretty good sized. There's, you know, kitchen and laundry and like an outdoor living area on one side. And then the main center of the home on the ground level is very open concept. The living room and dining room, and then there's like a little bar area and a little music area. It's all open. And you'll see that in a second as I start to continue on with the floor planning. But so that main sort of great room, I guess you would call it, is all open. And then upstairs are the 3 kids' bedrooms. Oh, I forgot to say the master bedroom is on the first floor, and then the kids' bedrooms are upstairs. So I decided to go with 1 teen, 1 child, and 1 toddler. So it's got a little bit of everything as far as the kids are concerned. And then right off of the master on the first floor, I have an office as well. And I believe, yeah, so here we're going to start with the kitchen. I always start with the kitchen. I don't know why. I guess it sort of sets the theme for the house. And once I have the kitchen done, I can sort of imagine what the rest of the house is going to look like, I guess, if that makes sense. So I kind of had this black and white idea just purely based on that exterior because, you know, when the exterior of the house is black and white, it sort of feels like the inside maybe would be too. I mean, it wouldn't have to be, but I don't know, in my mind, the inside there was a lot of black and white as well. So I decided to go with these black cabinets that are from Spa Day. Spa Day is one of my favorite packs to use when working with modern homes. And it comes in a lot of really nice swatches. And then I've sort of done a mixture here of cabinets and higher bar top cabinet counters for the island. And then since it's a pretty big, you know, extravagant house, I went for the double ovens. Usually if it's a big house, you know, I go all out with making the kitchen a little more, I guess you would say, like a gourmet kitchen. These windows that I've used, these square windows, are from Get Famous, and they're a little bit tricky to find curtains for because they're a really odd shape. So I ended up using these blinds from My First Pet Stuff, which I was talking about this in another video last week, but I love these blinds, and I know everyone hates My First Pet Stuff, but those blinds are really great, and so I use them all the time. And then I've tucked in that tile, it's that small square tile backsplash behind the ovens. And then on the opposite side of the kitchen, I've made like a coffee bar area. I'm a coffee drinker myself, and so coffee is a very important part of my life. So I always think of coffee when I'm building. And I think it would be my dream to have my own like personal coffee area in my kitchen. That would be super cool. So with the appliances here, that fridge is from Parenthood. Those ovens are from, I think those are from Cool Kitchen Stuff. And that shelf is also Cool Kitchen Stuff. And you see I've had to move the under cabinet lighting because in order to get the shelf tucked under there, and then I move the undercaps back underneath that second shelf. You can get a better look here at the tile backsplash that I chose, and I just framed that out with some of those really skinny columns. I think they're from Get Together. They're just the real thin straight columns. That way there's something separating the two different kinds of tile. And I do that on the door frames as well. When I have two rooms where there's no arch, where I just have open space between, I always use those columns to separate the rooms. So I'm starting to kind of clutter it up a little bit. There's some cookbooks, those are from Cool Kitchen Stuff, and adding just, you know, oh, here comes the coffee area. Okay, so this is like the coffee pot, and I added some bags of coffee. And I think later I went back and put a tea selection there as well, and a little coffee cup. That coffee cup will have to be cleaned up though, because it's one of those debug items that will start to like smell and have all the green like smoke coming off of it. But I thought it looked nice for now at least. And then over here against the wall, I've made this sort of like the dog's area. He has his little treats and food and food bowl and stuff kind of tucked over in that corner. So then the dining room is just outside the kitchen, in between the kitchen and the living room. It's, like I said before, it's open concept, so there's no door or anything there. That is going to change in a minute though. We'll talk about that again. That sort of like sliced wall, I ended up taking that out. But anyway, that dining table, I believe, is from City Living, and the chairs might be Cool Kitchen Stuff. Either that or City Living. No, I think they are Cool Kitchen Stuff. And then what you were seeing there was me just adding a light in that stairwell. Since we can't do spiral stairs in The Sims, I had that empty stairwell in the front that I didn't have anything to do with, so I just put that really long chandelier we got with Spa Day, and I put that in there. Okay, so I'm starting to pick out the living room furniture, and I decided to go with Get Famous. That fireplace is from Vintage Glamour Stuff, but Vintage Glamour Stuff and Get Famous go really nicely together. And I really love this couch. I use it all the time. I think it's technically mid-century modern, but I think it works for modern also. So I'm going with a lot of black and white again in this room, with some gray. That rug is also from Get Famous. The coffee table is from the Fitness Stuff pack. it's a nice coffee table. It comes in a lot of different colors, and the glass actually comes in different colors as well. And then on the side, I put a bar area, also from Get Famous. There's a lot of Get Famous in this room, because I thought that was kind of cool for entertaining. You've got this, you know, huge living room area, so I imagine it'd be the perfect place, you know, if you want to have friends over, you know, they can sit by the fireplace or have a cocktail, or you can have a dinner party really easily. And then those doors are also from Vintage Glamour Stuff. I love those doors. I use them all the time. They come in a lot of really cool colors. The solid black is what I chose. The black and white would have also looked nice, but I just decided to go with the black. And I'm adding a wine chiller and another wine rack over there next to the bar area. And then for the entryway, I wanted a separation, but I didn't want to make, you know, like huge walls. So I just did the little half wall. And then that top is also from Get Famous. It's like a glass top for half walls. And then that sofa table is from Fitness Stuff Pack, which matches really nice with the coffee table. Added some tile underneath the fireplace. And now I'm kind of working on this room all at the same time, even though there's sort of these 4 different zones. I'm just kind of working on all 4 of them at the same time, because even though, you know, they are different, since they're all visible in the same area, I want to make sure everything really coordinates. You can see I added a grand piano over there. I decided to make that kind of like the little music corner. So there's a grand piano and a violin and a microphone stand. And so I kind of was thinking maybe this family has a famous musician in it, because it is a pretty posh house. So maybe it's, you know, somebody with a pretty high fame level, could be a singer or somebody in a band, who knows. But I also gave all the kids musical instruments as well. So I kind of decided they would be a musical family. So I'm back in the kitchen because I forgot to finish cluttering it up. So I had to go back and add a few more things on the countertops. I'm notorious for doing that. I don't know, I must have a really poor attention span, because I'm always like, oh, I need to go and do this. Oh, wait, I forgot to go back and do this. So I'm always zipping around back and forth. I'm sorry if it's with this all sped up, it's probably a little bit erratic. I'm using that clutter shelf just to put some stuff up high on those shelves that I wedged between those 2 cabinets. And then for the dining room, since I only had that little half wall, I just used that small buffet table. That's from Seasons, since I didn't have room for like a full-size hutch. And then in the entry, I just pretty much went with all my usual suspects, the coat rack and umbrellas and thermostat. I think every single house that I build has that exact same thing in the entry, but I don't know, it just makes sense to me. That rug, I thought the scrolls really matched the door nicely. It almost looked like they were the same pattern. And then I added a shoe rack there, so maybe this is the type of family where you're not allowed to wear your shoes in the house if you have to take them off. And then I put a little seat there, because I imagine when you're taking your shoes on and off, you could sit down. And I tossed one of the kids' backpacks there as well by the door. So now I'm just decorating this little sofa table. I put a couple of those little, what do you call those? Like, not a chair, but I don't know, those little poofs you can sit on. I was having a heck of a time getting that horse to go up there. He just did not want to be on that table. Oh. And then on the coffee table, just a couple of magazines. I had played around with sizing up magazines because I've seen other builders do that, but when my sim picked it up, it was still like this super size, and they couldn't put it away or do anything with it, so they just carried it around the house. It was really bizarre. Just the Sim is holding this like giant magazine. I don't know. So I sized him back down. I'm not doing that anymore because apparently Sims do not enjoy large magazines. Or maybe they do. They just want to carry them around. So some candles over the fireplace. There's a TV there. I did not add a PlayStation, Xbox console thingy, but you could easily just stick one there if you want to. This room, I think, is getting close to being done. Yeah, I think yep, here we go. I'm going into the office now, which is right off of the living room, and it's kind of wedged between the living room and that sort of odd empty stairway that I didn't really know what to do with. I ended up putting an aquarium in there, which I don't know, it might be a little too weird. If you want to take it out, you're not going to hurt my feelings. So I ended up putting an aquarium in that little space between the window and the light. So I don't know, you can decide if you think it looks cool or not. And there's just some bookcases in here and a computer. It's pretty minimalistic. The bookcases are from City Living, and then that computer chair, desk chair, is from Get Famous. I really like that. That's the kind of chair I wish I had. I need to get a new computer chair really bad. And we're still in the black and white theme for this room and pretty much the whole first floor. This would be pretty ideal for if you have a Sim that works from home, maybe in the fashion career, or I guess any kind of work at home job. I ended up taking that easel out because we don't have a black easel, and that's a really, really dark brown. And at first I didn't think it would bother me, but then later when I was playtesting and it was sunny, it was too obviously brown. So I took it out. I don't like dark brown and black next to each other ever, so I had to take that out. I think I ended up putting a bookcase there, so goes with the office theme. Okay, so this outdoor living area, I kind of chopped it in half because I thought maybe it was a little bit too big, plus I hated that door there, that triple pane, I don't know, it just looked so weird. So when I cut this in half, it gave me a nice place for a laundry room. It's a laundry room slash bathroom. So this would probably be the bathroom like guests would use, I guess, since it's right off the living room, but it's also the laundry room as well. And since there's a toddler in the family, I put the little potty seat in there. And so I think it turned out pretty cute. I mean, it's functional since you have the laundry and the bathroom kind of 2 in 1. And again, it's going with a lot of the black. I kept the flooring the same since it's right off the kitchen. I thought that made sense. Since this house is in Oasis Springs, I felt like the outdoor living area made sense. You know, it's sort of seems like it's necessary when you're living in like a desert community that you would have some sort of outdoor living space. So that's right next to the laundry room, and a door for easy access from the kitchen to the grill area. Just a few items there from the laundry day stuff pack. And then I was working on this back door. I thought about putting the dog leashes there, but then I just went with that little cupboard shelf thing. I thought that was cute, and it was black, so it matched. Okay, so here's this little outdoor living space. I decided to go with wood for the walls, and then I believe stone for the floor. Now I can't remember. But then I used those archways because I thought they really matched well with the windows. They're almost the exact same size arch. Even though the woodwork is dark brown, it didn't bother me as much outside the house as it did inside the house. So I added some plants and herbs. I thought being right off the kitchen, that would be kind of cool. You could go out there and snip fresh herbs when you're cooking. And then there's just like a patio set that is from Perfect Patio Stuff. So I wanted to put a pool and a hot tub, of course, because you're in this beautiful desert heat. You've got to have a pool. And then just inside that outdoor living space is a little kind of towel and robe area. I imagine as you're going to the pool from the house, maybe you stop there and grab a towel. And all of that stuff, the little locker and the bench and the towel and all of that is from Spa Day. And then the grill is just right outside the door, close to the kitchen. And there's a door there as well that goes in the living room. There's a lot of doors, so you can come from the inside the house, you can come directly through the living room out to the back deck, or you can go through the kitchen and out through the outdoor living room to the back deck as well. So you got 3 different entrances there. And just adding a little bit of outdoor lighting. And now I am in the master bedroom, which is on the first floor, just off the living room, in between the living room and the office. I decided to go with the vintage glamour stuff in here. That's one of my favorite beds. It comes in a lot of really nice swatches. This black and white's really nice. I actually use it again upstairs in a different swatch. The rug is from City Living, and those same double doors I used for the bathroom. All of this furniture is vintage glamour stuff. The dresser, the chest, the night stands. The only thing that isn't is that little chair that I put. I kind of imagine this was like a little dressing area. That is City Living. The curtains are also vintage glamour stuff. I feel like this is a really sort of exquisite master. It's not, you know, it's not homey. It's a little more fancy. And there's some makeup there. And then I was trying for like 10 minutes to find that little corner table that came with Get Famous. It took me forever to find it, but there, I finally found it. And I put a couple plants. Oh, and then I put the dog bed in here, because I think the dog would want to be close to the parents. So these double doors lead to the master bathroom. I almost forgot to put the toilet in here. Well, that would have been a real disaster, but luckily I remembered to put it back before I finished. I really wanted to do a corner tub, but I couldn't make it work with the shower, so I ended up taking out the corner tub and putting in a regular tub, which was fine. You know, it's a process as you're going through. You're just trying to make things work. Again, lots of white and black and gray. Most of these floor tiles and wall tiles that I'm using are from Spa Day. Those counters as well are from Spa Day. And that mirror. So I'm just adding a few clutter items and a little basket of toiletries and toothbrushes and stuff like that. A little plant. And then I was trying to figure out what in the world I was going to do about curtains in here, because you figure it's a bathroom, you got to at least have some sort of curtain. But those arched windows are a nightmare when it comes to finding any kind of curtain that will make sense. Oh, that was the reason why I got rid of the corner tub, because the curtain was dangling into it. So that had to go. So I replaced it with just a regular size bathtub and a shower. I tried to use that Spa Day one at first, but I don't know, just something about it didn't match. So I went with the fitness stuff shower and the Jungle Adventure bathtub, which I think look pretty nice together. They're almost exactly the same stone. I even thought about changing it to the coordinating fitness stuff stone, but then I thought it was too much. But it is nice how you can actually match the wall tile to that particular shower. And there you see where I finally remembered to put the toilet in. So I had to get rid of one of the counters, which was fine. It didn't need 3 counters anyway. And adding a hamper and a photo. Oh yeah, and a few little odds and ends on the nightstand. Clock and plant. And I think I gave them a tablet. I like to put a tablet next to the bed because I imagine if you're like reading on your Kindle or something before you go to sleep. Okay, so we're finally upstairs. This is the teens room, which I decided to do white. I've done all white bedrooms before, and I just think they're so clean and modern. I just love that feeling of just, imagine the linens would be so fresh and clean, and I don't know, it just, white is perfect for a bedroom, I think. I think I said in my last video that I love light, bright bedrooms. But another window that was impossible to find a curtain for. There are no curtains in this game for these modern windows, so I ended up adding that shade, which I think worked. And it was white at least, so it was the right color. And all of this furniture is also from Vintage Glamour Stuff. That makeup table and the chest. Except for the bedside tables, those are Get Famous. And I believe that rug is from Parenthood, actually. Later, once I went back into the game mode, I changed those lights so they would all match, so don't worry about that. It's all fixed. And I gave her sort of like, I kind of imagined maybe she was really into fashion or clothes, and so I gave her some posters that looked sort of fashion-like. And her her full-length mirror and shoe area I thought was pretty glamorous. And then that little seasons basket, I always kind of like to pretend that that's like a shoulder bag. Oh, and she got a guitar because I think I said before, all the kids got an instrument. So I gave her a guitar and I actually gave her a microphone as well. So this is a very musically talented family. And then over here by this giant window that I didn't know what to do with, I ended up putting that little My First Pet Stuff couch, which I don't usually put things in front of the window, but I don't know, it needed something there really bad. It was just, the area was just too empty. And then I put some books next to it. I imagined it was like a little reading area. And then she's just got some lotion and fingernail polish and stuff next to the bed. I played around with a few different types of posters. I ended up going with these ones from City Living because I thought they looked very fashion-like. And then I moved those Vintage Glamour Stuff pictures all together and made like a display of them over the headboard. Because I wanted to use those. I feel like they're very sort of fashionish. Fashionist? That's not a word. They're very much in the fashion industry, I guess. I don't know. And some more of those City Living posters. I think I'm about done in here. And she's got the big closet too. So out here in the hall, I used the same flooring up here as I did, in the hallway as I did in all the bedrooms up here, but it's different than the first floor. The first floor was that slate tile, but for the upstairs with the bedrooms, I thought wood flooring would be more comfy. And I didn't really do much in this hallway, just a mirror and a table. I think I put an ottoman down at the other end. Hallways are always tough because I never really know what useless space, so there's not much you can do with them. So the teen has her own bathroom dedicated to her, it's the entrance to it is through her bedroom. Again, black and white. She did get the corner tub though. Somebody finally got the corner tub. And she didn't really have a lot of space in here for clutter. I played around with putting in some shelves. I don't know, I couldn't really find any shelves that I liked. And so I gave up and just put some toothbrushes and soap directly right on the edge of that sink. And out in the hall again, trying to figure out some sort of artwork. Okay, now I'm going into the child's bedroom. It is a girl's bedroom, or pink bedroom. That wallpaper is from Parenthood. That furniture is also from Parenthood. I tend to always use Parenthood in kids' bedrooms. I can't stop myself. I need to branch out. Well, I guess I do use Kids Stuff Pack as well, but mostly Parenthood. I don't know. I need to get, I'm getting into a rut with kids' bedrooms, I think, and just not really trying other types of furniture. It's not that I don't want to, I just feel like we don't really have a lot of furniture that fits for kids. There's a few things in City Living that I think can work for like teens. But as far as kids go, Parenthood and Kids Stuff Pack is about it. Well, there's a few things in base game. So she's got the new Strangerville laptop and some posters and things to decorate the walls. Calendar. Continuing on with the theme of music, I gave her an electric keyboard. So I kind of imagine that maybe the mom or the dad was a pianist, since they have that, you know, beautiful grand piano in the living room. So maybe one of the kids is taking piano as well. Or maybe the mom or the dad is teaching the child piano. That would make sense. So she's got some toys and stuffed animals. I made like a little reading corner with a chair and a bookcase. Lots and lots of pink. And that door goes to Jack and Jill bathroom that she shares with the toddler, which I did have to go back and put the potty seat in because I forgot, but don't worry. I went back and I put it in before I uploaded it to the gallery. And just choosing a rug here, which was a little bit difficult because the pinks, I don't really have all the exact same shade of pink. It's pretty close. Okay, so this is the toddler's bedroom. I don't really feel like it's necessarily a boy or a girl. I went with yellow with the black and white and gray. Toddler rooms are sort of interesting because really all you can do is just give them a whole bunch of toys and you know, they've just got this little tiny bed and they don't really need much else. So I went with the dollhouse and a toy box, that cute little panda chair. There's like a small little what do you call those little cubbies that they use for clothes. I didn't give the toddler like a full-size dresser. The dollhouse takes up a lot of room. And then I also put in that, oh, there I am remembering a high chair. I also put in that sort of Lego table. I'm not really sure exactly what that table is, but I don't know. I always call it the Lego table. And the little toddler tablet and building blocks, which of course they have to have, and some crayons. And it's mostly black and white with just some hints of yellow and maybe a little bit of green as well. That's a little more colorful maybe than some of the other rooms in the house. So we're coming to the end of the video. I just have to finish up that bathroom, and then I think I cut out pretty much all the landscaping because it was pretty boring. I just did some palm trees and shrubs around the front. I didn't even really do hardly anything around the front. I didn't even put any shrubs around the house. I don't know why. I just wasn't feeling a lot of landscaping on this one. Maybe because this particular lot already comes with so much landscaping around it. Maybe that was why it made me feel that way. But they share a bathroom here that has the Parenthood tub and shower combo, and like I said, I did go back and put the potty seat in there once I remembered it. And it's lots of black and white again. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support last week. I was so nervous about putting these videos up. I've never done anything like this before, so I really appreciate all the support that you've given me, and the subscribers and the likes and the comments. I really appreciate it. So thank you so much, and I'll be back again soon with another speed build. Let me know in the comments if you have a particular type of house you'd like to see, or you can always contact me on Instagram to make requests. So that's all for now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.